What's happening, Hardscapers? We are doing a front walkway entrance, and just like, not yet. That's it. Let me show you how we did it. Step one of this project is to remove all the pavers and dispose of them. We can't mix them with the gravel. They need to be disposed of separately. So I just lift them all up, separate them, and also take a look at what is happening with this base layer. A couple of things to point out here. So I just dug a test hole here just to see how deep the gravel goes. And this is 3/4 minus, but it's down to like dust. And you can see like how much it's really holding on to water. It hasn't rained here in at least a week, and you can see how wet that is on my hand there. And once we get further down into this, so this is just holding on to water, and water will destroy lots of things. It in the wintertime will freeze and heave and sink, and you got a lot of problems. But what I assume a lot of this, and there's lots of pavers like this just eating away over time. Now, these are 15, 20-year bricks, but you can see how the face of this has just been eaten away. The bottoms of a bunch of them have just been eaten away over time. That's why we're gonna use a clear stone so that water goes all the way down and out of our base, and not use a dense graded base down to dust. And that is our solution here. Excavation done, subsoil compacted, and then now we have a non-woven geotextile and then biaxial geogrid. 2 4-foot strips. There's a large overlap, minimum 12-inch overlap for geogrid, but we have more than enough for that. So step is gonna rest right here. Step is 6 inches, and then we are going to screed and lay some slabs just to have that step rest on. So that is 9.5 inches from here down that we're trying to get to for our base, and then we can place our first step. We finally got some good weather, but that means it's an endurance feat doing this now. You can see that we've laid out our non-woven geotextile and also a layer of biaxial geogrid at the base. This layer of biaxial geogrid will tie into our steps. So it's below that first step and then below that second step, which is perfect. It's gonna tie everything together, give it stabilization, reinforcement, strength there. And we also make sure that our fabric is taut, that there's no wrinkles in it before putting our base layer on top of that, using 3/4 inch clear stone for this base. Getting these steps placed. What we do is put a pad of pavers, put that step on top. That gives us a little bit of wiggle room to move it around. I'll show you what I did. So with this, we are just measuring down from where our final cap on that porch is going to land, the height of our step plus the height of that final rise, where we can then screed and lay a base foundation of pavers, which will help me in being able to put this step on top of them and move it around. You can also see that we are cutting the edge of the step there. Client wants it to be flush with the wall. Before, that rock face on the steps was actually leaving a slight gap there, which holds leaves, dirt, debris. So we're just making sure that it's tight against that wall. And you can see we're doing the same thing with our second step, and we use a tool for measuring down for this to get our exact elevation of our paver pad. Let's show you how we actually do this. So let me talk to you about what I'm doing with this thing. So this is a high precision altimeter. So it's like a digital water level. Gives you a 0 point and you can measure down from it. When you saw me using this, I'm basically measuring from the top of that step, which I know is 6 inches in height. And I have another step here, which is 6 inches in height. And I'm just trying to set this at what would be the base of the step, which would be both those steps put together, so 12 inches. You can see we are at 12 inches, so 1 foot and 2 inches. So that extra 2 inches is my slope. So a 2-inch slope over this area, and this is 8 feet, I believe, and that's how I got with that. So 1/4 inch per foot, 8 feet, and that would be 2 inches. So that's why I'm at 1 foot or 12 inches plus that extra 2 inches there. A top of base block for the screed bars, I would have factored in the height of this paver as well, which would be 2 3/4. So for the screed bars, I was at 1 foot 4 inches and 3/4. Hopefully that makes sense. Once again, same thing with the second step. We're putting it on top of our base pad of pavers, marking our cut and cutting along that rock face so that when we place this step, it's nice and tight up against that wall. Turns out these things actually have air filters and they gotta be cleaned out, I guess. You know, some days go great, other days not so much, but gotta keep the show going. Once we have our 2 steps in place, we can now compact our base and start to screed this initial layer now that it's completely retained. You can see that I'm laying out my screed bars. I have my elevation set with a 2-inch slope, so that's 1/4 of an inch per foot from bottom of that first step to the top of that second step. So I can use a paver to measure exactly where those pavers are gonna land on my screed bars to make sure my elevations are correct. And then it's just a matter of laying out those pavers. Okay, this should be our last full day here. We got that 2 steps in, landing there, and now we have to do 1 more step on this area and this area paved. This should go pretty quick. This will be the full day, and then tomorrow we will do the sand and clean up. Final step is going in place against that existing driveway. This one's a little bit more trickier in getting that step placed in and cutting that edge to make sure that we are laying to a full paver. So there's going to be no paver cuts along that final edge. Yeah, I know I need a fork attachment. Gotta get on that, but this works in a pinch. And with that 3rd step placed, we now can compact our final base layer there and just make sure that our elevations are correct using our screed bars, making sure with the paver that we are just at the right height from our 2nd step to that final step, and making sure that our pavers are gonna be following that 1/4 of an inch per foot slope. You can see here I actually made a mistake. Base prep was too high, so I had to scrape out some of that, recompact, re-screed, and now we're ready to start laying our pavers. But because of this return on the foundation, it's gonna work out where we're gonna actually have to cut along the foundation border there, the pavers, to make sure that they fit correctly. So I'm leaving a little bit of a gap there and continuing our layout to that final step, where there's also going to be some cuts along that step. But we try our best to make sure that we're always laying to a full paver where possible. So at that final edge, there's gonna be no cuts. Now we're going through and making sure that we are using the most of our pavers and having as little sliver cuts as possible. Now there's gonna be a little bit of sliver cuts, and that's just to break up lines so that we don't have one continuous line going through for more than 3.5 feet, and to prevent any 4 corners where possible, where the 4 vertices of a paver connect in one spot. So first step to this porch overlay is we just dry lay it, see how it's going to fit, see how the cuts are going to work. We just spend a little bit of time to see what that's going to look like and take measurements and get accurate results of that, and see what our overhang here we're left with if we don't do any cuts. Now here we have a 2 and I would say a 1/2 inch overhang. That's kind of pushing it a bit. I like 2 inches, but if we cut, then you don't get full stone, so it's kind of a trade-off. So we'll talk with the client about that, but basically if we do want to have less than 2.5 inches, pull that back to maybe 1 inch, then we have to cut 1.5 inches off this end along the foundation. We wouldn't do that here because we want to keep that chamfer presentable, so we want to maintain this chamfer and the cap chamfer to keep that clean reveal. We would do that against the foundation where it's going to be a little bit more hidden. Now over there we've got about a 4-inch overhang if we lay to a full stone, and that's not acceptable. So what I've been doing is just cutting these ones to size. So these are 6 inches. This is just resting on the step now. It's actually going to come up to that top there, be flush with that, and then it is flush on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, but these are going to be adhered to the face. Caps are going to be adhered, and we're actually going to adhere each of these pavers to the concrete slab as well. Fill it in with NoCo, Techniseal NoCo. That's no compaction polymeric sand, doesn't let any water in, so it's perfect for overlays. So with this porch overlay, we need to cut those back pavers about 1.5 inches to give us a 1-inch overhang on our caps. So I'm going through, marking those and cutting them and fitting them in place, and now we can actually move those pavers back towards that back foundation to give us our 1-inch overhang. Then I need to repeat this with those side pavers. I need to cut them about 3 inches, so I'm just marking those cuts and sliding those caps into place where they will also have a 1-inch overhang. Now it's a matter of making sure that we're cutting and using the most of our caps around this pillar. This takes some L-shaped cuts, so it does take some time, but the final product will look beautiful. So with that porch overlay done, we can then work on our risers. And I like my risers to be offset by about 1/2 with those caps. And we have symmetrical caps. The risers, there's gonna be one small cut on that right side to give us a 1/2 offset from risers to caps so that the seams are not lined up and they are offset. It's wrap up day. We are just leveling a few spots out. Edge restraint's gonna go in, concrete edge restraint, then polymeric sand, and then I've got one cut there, one cut over there to make, and then we can adhere these and put them in place and get the sand in. In the final stretch here on this project, we're gonna be installing a concrete edge restraint. This is a fiber reinforced edge restraint that we mix up and then install and trowel along that edge. And then we backfill with our topsoil, followed by a polymeric sand installation, sweeping that around, blowing it off, compacting to make sure that that polymeric sand has gone down to the bottom of the joint. Without compaction, it doesn't fill the entire joint, and we want to make sure that it does. It gets to that bottom of the joint. Finally, with the porch overlay, we'll go through and adhere our pavers to that porch, as well as our caps and risers, to make everything look nice. Here I use sticky stone, so sticky stone vertical adhesive to adhere these, to adhere our caps, and then little dots on our overlay to adhere those, so those aren't going anywhere. I also use NoCo Techniseal sand. Apparently it doesn't let any water through, and it's no compaction, so NoCo, no compaction, so I don't actually have to hit anything down. Perfect for a concrete overlay application, so that's why we use that there. And then we can install our polymeric sand into the joints of our porch overlay, give that a blow off, and get ready for activation. Before I go ahead and water this, I just want to show what I was looking at when I was doing this. So basically with our cuts, we want to be at that halfway point with our riser to our step cap. So that's why we have a small one there. I also like to center my front facing caps. So center those, so that one's cut and that cut equals that one. Same width there. And then for this, I like to hide my cuts as much as possible. So instead of cutting this along here, which will take away that chamfer, I cut along the back edge because this is our presentation area. Same with going into the house. So instead I cut those ones, which are a little bit more out of sight, out of mind. That allows me to keep that chamfer, and same with this one, a little bit more out of sight, out of mind, so I don't mind having that cut there. And now that we have all of our polymeric sand installed on this project, we're going through and activating that polymeric sand. Okay, that's all done. Polymeric sand activated. Okay, this is our end result. This turned out great. So we've got our borders with our nice face mix pavers there. We've got our caps, our risers. Those are just adhering, so just want to make sure that that takes before I take out all my wedges and stuff in there. Nice cut around our downspout area there. Worked out to full stones up there, but because of this return on the foundation, we had to cut this area, had to cut around the step, and yeah, all in all, worked out really well. And that's it for this project. Like this video if you found it helpful. Comment any questions that you have below, or suggestions, complaints, whatever you want. And subscribe to this YouTube channel for more hardscaping content like this. Thank you so much for watching.